Gan tíis rinne ag éag satíine le cadúán i chana óe al'eix at si uch agach túl at si dat uch agach túl le at i chana. Cad aya sitka al'eix dat uch ag chwadatán siúchanach óe ja. Agudach hasika kawu owe hakusti hasa shaguk as hastu kusti dach idat ka hashu hashika kawu dach what dach shaguk sheet kak owe Sitka Native Education Program kusti hakusti ka al'eix al'ech dot stu has outly too she de heni sheet kaku stu has outly too wake Sitka Native Education Program hashu kakau kal'atk daste kal'atk du si city daste chakut shukakau al'eix al'ech stu has outly too sheet kak chakut ye de ʼatudli she de heni at she what to a she Wanganeen's series you do a sock like kaanáx Ḳukahaa series Ḳukahaa series Qiaqquan Llingit ka ayis chakut achta adi yentu h way series yes Ḳukahaa series awe tlaknach adi aich sati wait udas yentu h ayis ka shadaat kawut ka dua ka we shadaat ka sadat I atushat yayach shida Canada ka wait ach tu asa gwe shi ka aga awe Ḳukahaa series to Ichwaji ganach adi aich siti ka tlal kidain chasi Ḳukahaa aadé chatne u tlal ayachawe wait gwell ganach adi aich siti yatsa dekina series awe she de heni she e dekinach siti chakut na has aya hain dekina tukene di kicks adi aknach adi gwell giwell the cut na we dekina shik I has aya hain like dekina atche kicks adi has aya hain kawut you do a sock way atche dekina at shich sati Qiaqquan series to yad aya kicks adi aich sati kicks adi aya uhan ach owe kakkollanik wait just jaye gen gwishkalnik kicks adi ka owe Qiaqquan Xu'aku u we ka has du shik ish stu outly too giacháin hasú sií. Wana ní soa chuch dé cuatín Lingid ani dé. Aga oa ha ich ausli tú giacháin sií. At oa kicks adi a ich siti we sií. Ka giacháin yach you a'atudli.átk. We siig is stúla chwell iach cha adúd eich a cha un atúd eich sa ha chant atúd siat we adúd eich a cha cha Geach Kwan series yes Ginny yen to age so we shawat so sach owe tlal chosaka lingit saik round hats like kach enach just we shawat tlal alla chud as ach yes na age gwelliad ka awd kawd has ach adat gwell sa cúwe at siig iaidag ka iwach siig ik cosne ya at eich just giach kwan series giach kwan siig dachtu latin ik winnet isatinge yadba
Discipline.
ya kaya da hai aya we qajahin at echi aya yis shit ka kwan at echi yeah achke yada
Plague.
ah
Het wordt te ach.
dasa
Het wordt
like oh mm, mm, ah that Gynnall tis iesu tini. I dat dasa i tu wooch ya kaya dahai dat ka adasa i tu asigu agach tu la aadé gwell sitka al'eix gwell wasa al'eix I ani ka adasa I tu asigu gynnall tis ach eidi sa achit.
Sheesh. Okay.
Wasach allit yn gynnall cheese.
Chadaya. Arcling gynnall tis a I ach I illa tu siad cach siad cach al'eix I dach. Ach tawas a gwyw daich a cael callagau a sach yw cell chwasa cell chwatinen siwcat cwnach cwnach ach tawas a gwyw so gynnall ti stwgach a dy ti. I dat well chadaya deislindach ay achad so yechoaji cleich a'atudli Wooch un hastuji woo. Deislin tlingit a cleich yudua sauk a cleich shadahani yudua sauk kua anyalla hash ka ishkatana shadahani tsu. We ashi tsu ka kua ham hastu tawasugu neil deshi oe su he deshu gach dutan gooch shai ka pech nal yi chedach ka amliech ya neil deshi gach tu shij keknach ik dag nach neil has ua at ha at lechi. Hastuji or maya tiech hastuji dachnach ka kaju dachuninach dagwash. Dagwash chadasa kushtiach kaju shawat. Wanganins chukle gusua at she or gusua she awetu. Haish has she at tushi keknach a'atudli. Yidat al'kwan al'kwan ani ayayechadati achayach chalk wash in atlechi klesh hin atlechi ka aujetak klesh chwatin and shukat so kunach achtoasagu ka chat uawat aadé chatini ye ewe chashugu daka ka elka kwan chashugu adudlech na adi ye na u daukt wu adi at ye daga u oe kwa dak da chun at oe ye tua u llakadat sakhed ka tlushjini ka at hashtatil ka nauk klek gwell ka ka yuka uti ku ka ka uti ku k'ekai. Hastu tawasagu k'eka hadzisku dugu na aditsu. Ka akakatsewa hauk ite da shik une akakatsewa hauk
Saach again.
saach atlechi saach k'eka hastu tawasagu tsu na adi. Yidat helki wasa sakwati ka wakshi yide yek kwasane ach kashuk chawake. Just dech winnet video. Kakhatseo help video.
Ďakujem.
Gynlltish. Iatinke. So Ḳukahaa Daislin Llinged Adleich video oi. ʼAtudli.átk. Gynlltish Yiddish gynlltish yi satini shakatiwan achtawasagu yi achtawasagu yitini shtuka chatati anyallahash. So anyallahash yeah, anyallahash wait yiska yiska oe and oe anyallahash yandashani yechochi yandashani and ye dat shtuka chatati al'eix shadahani al'eix shadahani yayagi. So gynlltishach eins chatiwan.
Ďakujem, gynlltish.
Gynlltish skyde u halak shig ye usine Yisene gynlltish skyde u ka yatsa gol achtuasigu round hat Ḳukahaa yatalk with you. Just yeah. Ţukahaa.
Good so e. Jou tuadlach. It's a news.
Gwell sailors dach. Has dus dach hatu sigu wait oai
Yen was
tlall jashugu yechaju tlall chasa Ḳukahaa chaqut gall nig chosi ach.
Asaige iach. Anda yagus ahu. Yen was ahu. Tatiach satsu. We kwatiach yeti. Kawut, one qanins kawut. Kautlichos yateach. Echosaka. Wooch ada. Kaanáx. al'eix. Adi satsu jitwasa kuyichetan. Āchqeq al'eix.
Gunaschish. Ayatin. Da. I wrote it down. Da lady. The Teslin. Da. Askutu at Kuchenk. Glate. Chal Dakahidi. Juno Yak City, the City Museum. Hatia Kinde Agin. At Aya at Hayat Re Munoz Aqua Shikhet Ahle Chilkat. Ye you are Ikate Shakiat Nachwain Ayatin Da Lady Tan Yadatsiai Kle you Sakate, the little clef. Wooch. Gunaschish.
Okay, al'eix. Al'eix.
Gunaschish Hawakshi Yiti we Sheetkrat Kusti Kunachike Tlakmas Octua Sigu. Tlich Łukahaa tlich Atwashi. Tus Scottish Atlerch at Sheik Wasaku Adat Adak tlich get Kusti Wasaku Adat. Actually, it's the Kwasaku das ye diatukai ye diahakai adach kunach aya aktuasigu we atlerk chuchagudach ach pundatani aya we angun ku 1982 dach celebration tlachmasa achtua sigu hashatlatini tlach mas iachwaji has wke has allergi. Ach tunda tani tsu gwal kutudziti o tuslerchi ka atwutushi gwal ach yet kisani we adatki dultini tlakmas hastu tuasigu hasallerk ka has atshi tlakyagi ja yukatangi stutul idachawe hasallerk kunachawe kasigu what screen share just this if I can find it here. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Let me see here. How do okay. Gydalchish achhetin sa achi gydalchish pakati hon.
Ḳukahaa. Woosk.
Wooch usk.
Gwellhad o hagwn cach.
Gynulleidfa. Cleidehin githon yagodak ya has ʼatudli.átch. Hastu shkanik hajies au al'eix. Mouse woman klachyake. Kaanáx askewu. Kaanáx Ḳukahaa. Kaanáx klegu ini. Dukheid klech husiach. Dinach kawuna. Mouse woman dukheid hisaach. Wooch.
Gynulleidfa. Yk'e. We kutin shawadid Ḳukahaa. Dekinash galnigitsu Yk'eха. Gynulleidfa.
Gwellhad so gwnnalltish we cwyawd a hai llingit a llechi siagwn dat ka gwnnalltish anyanach lla we cwyawd a hai llwcwdi we cwyawd a hai cach Gaestyn a cawllynig aadé iell ca wachsich gwne awallechie ca lle ca jacwti a cawllynig we nuct idach awe we llingit a lle aadé llingit a lle chi cwdyti ie. Ca tsu lliadus chi wu ha wakshich awsyne we cwyawd a hai llygwn un. Ca llygwn a cawllynig a dat du shat du yaki. Ka weyaki has ash ʼatudli.átk. Ka wananisaway we adatki has awa ach kach kachu nukt gau yach ka we adaki ye has awaji we nukt awu gwash hastuius ka ajidach has awa sech wegau kade kunach usk skalslik kunarchish ka wangadins we klach kunach yis adaki chega has ausuku aadé ye celebration 2008 ach ye chauti ka yuch kajakuti yu chewatan wegal chega yan wat wusiti wegal shakte gushuk jikat ka gushuk tak ka yechwaji hu owe adu ye yu chewatan yata kwa wegal ha'in akawanik adat ya llingit a llech kajin in yata ye yawaka wegal at au llageni we woosh chwashi jin kajin uaya as kayani kilja wuhihi ka atlen ta kushuahich ka Yesu wanganins chwesatini kayani kilja wuhihi kayani hu owe ka du yuchatangi ka dachat sewaha ka atchi yakutan we yis atchi Skyde ka chene ka atlen ku has awashi tlech te yashi chasahan gunalchish gunach kasaku gunalchish ache iache
ʼek'eja we gunalchish
Ja, gunalchish anyach tla atlein. Wasaway e gach u dech kalsnik ye hasyati. Wash shega ye hasyati. Wasaway we nukt we ashiguk a sheikh shugunach shingit ye has kutsati. We kushta kwanich shudkat ka has our il yudu ye our shakli ye wuti wach we nukt a ye il su ye wege gao kak yach yati nukt kayek we shikashnik dot yesh ka kush da kwani tlech kaanáx yat kaanáx wash s'ug aadé ti tlech kawushnik tlech wasaka Wooch
يك قلت شيش يك خوي يقتنجيل تكت يوان
Kne, both Slagoon, Kuslatin, Sus, Nusk, Winnets, Kaanáx, Gig.
يك
Yat Yashka Sneak 1940 dach de Kusti yeah dach
Oh, call William Gross. Oh, kind of say could see has the glass. Well, he knew who was as clean a goddamn city and didn't knock. They gave the shoots all the his the glass. Well, I can't remember the name. Willow Grouse. They drum, they go like that and they drum. They blow up their back around their bottom, their throat, and that's how they make that noise. They drum. That's the glass. This is a cool head or did get a just lad. My shoes tinge or did go out of the glassy. Well, one Koch City. The who's tinge to call. Mau kunisa crazy. So others just let the dog will good call the glass. How did get like on a sure enough? I should say we're gone Carter. They figured out they were drumming for them and they start dancing. They were just little tiny kids. I have so much fun with them. Take care of them. Yeah, I stayed with them for a long time. When I come back home, I don't want to even babysit another hour.
okay
يك خوي قلت شيش يا ويش قلتني قلت أتاتوي يقايل أتكي و خاجاقتي أوي يقي وطن أقاق خوشيا تكتهين أوي ويقيا دهاي دا يجخوني كي نقتين أوي يقي وطن يا كي نق قلت أكوش هيت آتلين خاصاخو لتوسكو أخيووسي أوي أداد أقاوي قاجاقتي قلت لتوسكو و كونشكتنيجي قلت كي جدخنخ هستو يقتنجي جان قو قنخويك و يادو الجاق دو يجني دوك قلت كيوي Wordlview ʼatudli.átk ʼkhosaka.
Ḳukahaa after.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay. Aadé na yuhan. Ḳukahaa was a kaanáx. As Ḳukahaa was a chaiduka. Al'eix Wooch kachilkat Thunderbirds 10. Has she al'eix chaltu Westgunwan. At'atku awe al'eix nuch kunach yak awe. Ḳukahaa yanwat awe. Has al'eix Ḳukahaa has tu outletu as chwasatin. An al'eix as kaanáx kinde ijin. Kind of yada yach. Tleich she shtachaltu is in the chat. I'm in a new chat. Dal Ginny al'eix composed.
Ādkaulishi.
Ādkaulishi. Ḳukahaa was a dosak I dushi chi hui. Chi
George Harley.
hui. Oh, okay.
Yechkutsi awa ādkaulishi. Kaanáx.
Adatku kunach dutua siku just cause I always ask them kasagu jubu get. Do you have it? Did you have fun? Oh, okay. You did it right. Then you have fun. You're doing it right. Kunachik kunachishaki kudi. Gu kasagu jubu. Okay. Ye gang you khatangi yagi kunachchish. Yake khasatini Johan.
Okay.
Hucha.
Ganalchish. Kakwa āqiata ganalchish oyi khatangi ltakat Johan. Khwasaku gwalliaqwatlaaqi.
Kausiki dushat Wooch. Goswitustri. Awa dasawa aya acht. Gauya khawa duwa acht. Ayakota khawa aus ha nukt isaweka. Gauya I achte nuch nukt. Takuitik. Awa atqewatan. Ha khatso khaya khatusitis. Awa nuktawaye ka al'eixashikuk al'eix. Inak khat'eix. Yashkasni kakhawa Ķukahaa hastu idakhawa qawjiti. Kaykutunik akakhati tulaku akawjuti khaya. Ķukahaa hawa khaniki tat iqawduusi. Kutaksawa khatkoqisa akakha qawshi kawdushi tachaq. Sinket kaita khawa kawduchi. Nuktichaya shuwane. Al'eix. Awa astutinus sanuk astutinus. Khawa singet kaita astutinus khazat eche. Kadeyatiya. Ayaya.
Ye awa yashkalnik we nukt. Khai outlet to a data we al'eix. وتسكو كدين أو أتحس أو تلاقي خستو شتقا يا أو يا دق قاشين جد هس أو تلاقي وي نكت أتشي أقاوي كدين هس أو شي يا هستو شتقا هس أو تلاقي وقاقو يا أو أجوي كل وان قنين زي شان هسوي كل كدين هس أوش كوك وأتلاخ أدوسا هسا قوشا يا أوي ويتلنجت قصي قوة شيت كوك واسا يكسكاك أوي أتشي كوكو وان قنين خوستين سناب آي يك أوي هاجي تي داستيا قاقل أتك هستو داتو يتخوتانك أدي أوي هس كدين أوي هس أوسنيخ يا أتشي أتلين أتشيكي أو هاجيتي كاكتهين أو قيخنيخا نكاونيك جلت كتوي خلنجت شغون وخلتشيش أو قوين كيشنيكي ها أتشيكي تين إيقا أتوي يا تاتسو وان قنين خواخ وديخ آشكالنيك قدخ سوي وأتليخ كيخ قل أتك خيدخ أداتوي يقي وطان ييش قاكوش دا قويقي يا كاسكي دو خيدخسو ييش قويق أوي تتواسقو أياوس هيهي و ديكي نو أوي آيه ووتين كتوك تو يوتي دو شتتين دو تواسقو جالتا كتت أوي أو إيقي قويق كخ أقا أوي و قلتا ييجا يدو ساق و سيتسكو إيل هيني نيج كآي أقا أوي هس نيخس أوشي أها قادي دا يجي أها قادي دا يجي يليخس إيتي كاياو تشو يلكيش كيهس سنة قنخوي أدات يتخوتن داسا هجي يا يدت داسا هسوجي ديكارتو تيا هتجخن كيساني أدي أوشتو دلتوية يا ها أتليخي قاها أتشي أدوسا أتكاوتلشي أدوسا ييس أتكغخلشي يا أوه جوشتو قاختتي وأتشيتس آتيخ قوتتي أخو جوك باكس يخيتي يا تلكتهين يا أخو جس أتشي جو يا ووش كجيدي يدو ساقود ووش كجيد هس أوشي ووش كجيدي هس أوشي قل يا وي قختو سا وي song competition قونزا يسكو قا كيك قاو قني أو قوش قني أوشي okay جوك وأ أقا خط أقا وأ قنخوي قاسكو يا أوه هاتواسكو قا وتسكو قدخسوي آتلين أوه أتشيغي يا خواخ قيق قوان هسو جيدي هس أوتي هسو أتشي كخلكوزي أتوه قا كشس لنجد آي اشتكت يدخ أوي وأتشي قا أتليخ قاشتكت يدخ أوي وقوء أخو يا يدت يهس يا وقاخت قو أخشه just take 100% klingit أيا أخو بس كسدات يهس تقول أتكن يا تكت يدخوي ويسخخ يسشت قايا تي هسجو يدكي قنخوي أدايو تخوتنك يا أو أتشوي وأتشقت تي هخوخ ديكينا سوتكن قا قننا يخلقخ أدي أوات قود أو آيهام يتي يا تيخوي كداس هس قاتو أو سقون و ʼatudli ʼátk yata tlli tin wana do how like just Ḥukahaa wasatu asaq Ḥukahaa yata just cotton Qatu wasaku we tli kutatsi has aya uwan qa chak hasitu wasaku taqate hasu ati ya we tli kutatsi hasa uwan aqa away wush to sig and ha'at khai hashkalniki qa ha'at shiki take the hin away khwa akhna tatsihin tuda.átch chakut yete qo has awashi oh yak kwal chak away ha chaku qaqu wush has to sig and we atche wutusaku qunana atshiki ya Ḥukahaa qashqut qwan chilqat qwanse ya away achawe wush to one has to tii ya hashil kohas ya away adatu to khutankya ya gitsu Kitchnach de yukatangi Cajun when it's kaanáx to us a go to ahi gudachsa way we atche we yukatang ya kuntak sakshawe da kunjin kat ka nask tag shuhigen sheet kakawe wish kanachu to the aten you do a sago at ya yidat hadda kisani atlitzin ajawe atlitzin aqawe wasagu to ahi ya do yukatangi ka wututu ya kuntak sakshawe shuhigen wish kanaach to the aten wish kanaach kekach to the aten aqawe wasagu ka wakshi yata awe ka wutu ach ajawe do yukatangi da awe ye jehwane kwash kakki tu ka gahi ach do yukatangi
Āqātais kut keik kohi kāsingitsati Sieyessinane kowe kunkawa tasak pati akata kawasak patu te chagaw tawatik hatlet kaksati yahun kich hasingitsati awe katasak pastin awachus yeunane jewe kunachishka adana hasutanake yakuste yahasingitsati aadé tuda.átk ato pasok shish paana wega ya to yakki ya kiwa umse yo patange ruksane ya to ise kotiya na hakeni ka to isha ya ita to Ḳukahaa juslisa yashautu ta ya singit satiye Haji aadé yana fitiwe yasilaski anahata suonak koaksit ekta chunus yawatana Haji Haji takuna takti Haji kos aadeka yakai achawa kaita kantushi tawa chayo thanek awa chashuti kwas itu kwa hatu ye tinde chakayate yusatu quicken otiaki kete hacht ya yukotan ya itat kutsitek ye itat tishukoye kohatan kia yakhlisko itikanek eke kuk ho yukotan ye goksane yeke nushishawe chaye kuken kawa khashut litso Haatako khan kadas kanu kuye awe ya idat yakska isnu kutaki ye tunu ki katu kuten thesine yachakhisha si tekanek yak awe ya idat uchite kautawa takhawe khawa to uchikhin achawe ye kaya kayiyatke ya aadé ne tlatos kuchakawa yawasahi hatliskos aadé sine awe tau tutlihache tawe hawakiyaka achawe kakautowa ket te kautowa hunaweha hatlatlikos hakakas hastu kusti kastu yukotanke te anawa tutlihache tawe Haji kakiya ket achawacho hete shukwaktu tan ea khusketa ket Haji kanakas kautikit hakakas katis kos ya itatawe ya to ya kesk yukotan kawate chi ekote
Kach yuchatang klein awa aka datu tuchotang adusaw lugyachaya yukakwatan ya aadé awe we wasadu sagu at we kaanáx yukatangi ye awa aktuwasagu uhan suhatu ye ti ades qanugu ya halil ko has hatlagu qonkiyan achawishti qakhatati wuchin khasati yagi qachatakowe wuchin khanastiji adati takhotang ke hakukhlitzin wuchin achawe just qonakhawe kakartu hich ya ha yukatangi wan qanin squalchi naqawe we wasakachtu sa Pechne haina kawanik wan qanins tilqajit ukit hasti yukatangi ya uhan qoa chaqnakhawe ya de chunde gachtu art ya gwaltlek tu ya has qas kaujachit has qas kaujachit ke has gachtu shat aqa wuchin at gachtu art yewe achtun de tani yeti Gulchish klein we al'eix chita de we yuche watani achtuasagu gwall Jakut yukatangiting wujin yukaktulla ka adat yukaktulla wasa atkukwane dakunyagi khana ka dat yaksawe wasa wuti hayejini yayagi gulchish klein. Okay, how's that?
Okay. Recording. Okay. Okay.
I definitely felt like I was understanding a little bit more this class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess the only way, I think the only way is just to keep going in and to, but also like we've got these prompts, we've got like, we're really helping each other out. And so, and there's lots of stuff that we talked about. Like we covered a bunch of stuff in a conversation. That was really, I'm amazed. I'm flabbergasted. Keep doing this thing. Yeah, and I think about that. Like whenever I just listen to that, it's a whole series of speeches. It's not one speech. And so what I did is I said, let's just look at this kaanáx, these wonderful speech acts that, and it wasn't just him. It was, well, just, Ḳukahaa and most ʼatudli.átk and kaanáx are really going back and forth if you examine those speeches. But Kingiste awa aye wutien hastu yejene ati khusati kajar tuashgo katas awuqaqu ka hanitsu aadé hastu ne hajiyis hakakaya ka hadachankisani hastu kikiyis. So I don't want us to forget the amazing work that David Katzig did. He was the president of Alaska Heritage when this recording was made and when they decided to do celebration, like 1 year after this amazing gathering in Sitka, where they just brought out these, because these songs were only done at Ḳukahaa, and it was not considered appropriate to do them outside of Ḳukahaa, and now that is happening. But what they kept saying was we're losing so much, we have to adjust. And I keep coming back to that as well, because it does feel like sometimes people want to put a lid on everything. And I just worry sometimes that, because when I'm up worrying, I'm thinking, who's going to be able to talk like that? Who on earth, like, if you look at the amount of metaphors that come out and the complexity of that language, like, there's no way that it can, there's just like so much wild stuff, like to put like these super complex clauses, like the people cannot leave until this thing gets sort of resolved or responded to. But if you sort of just, you could geek out on that sort of line if you want to, but also just like the amount of things that are in there and how it extends throughout this whole speech. And it gets us to that, to hete shukachtutan, yaya kuske dekait, haji kanakas dekait. So it gets us to that line. But also, like, I like us to see that whole thing in context when he said that in that song that was composed, based on those words. So even that, it's like, that's just a tiny snippet of this whole massive, wonderful thing, which is how I feel about songs in general, and how, like, just chayeku genki Ḳukahaa has Ḳukahaa dashi. Awe naxati hastaqah dashi hastunak wujiki ajoyach to asagu eqaw to suku yaha achiki. So some clans are kind of forgetting some of their cry songs, they're losing track of them. And there's cry songs, spirit songs, the fun songs, which are, it's interesting to me that there's shakut, because that means to compose a song that needs a reply, or to sing one of the love songs. It usually has clan yetki in it somewhere. And it's usually a real fast-paced song with little skip beats. But if you learn the words, like, gee, that's sad. It's like, The land has already sunk. Let me see you one more time before I die. Like we already had the blues like figured out. Like we had like, and when you hear those songs, they are very sad. But they're also, people are just dancing so hard, you know, because that's what you're supposed to do. But they call that ʼatudli.átk, which is another thing. Like I generally will continue to push back against the pure blood ideology, which I really think is a new thing. And I just don't know. Because there was so much intermarriage and so much trade of songs and stuff that is so much more interesting to me than the 100%ers, you know. And so, anyways, other thoughts or questions, and we also have to think, what are we doing Thursday?
That last recording that we were looking at, was there a reason how they put the interpretations on the right side? Is there a reason why it seemed like some of them were mixed up?
That's how, so the Dauenhauers had a translation methodology that was usually make it sound good in English. I would probably say their primary reason was a big part of their argument. Like, so if you go back to 1970s, like you did not see Tlingit stories in classrooms at all. And so part of their effort was to say, this is high literature. And so because of that, their approach was to translate for an English-speaking audience. And they also knew that, I'm sure they had the foresight, because I talked to them, that it wouldn't be long until 99% of the Tlingit people couldn't speak the language anymore. So they also wanted to make it accessible and understandable, but that's why we probably need a new version of some of these speeches that are translated for the language learners. Because like, how are we getting to that? What is this thing? And so but we do have, I wish we had all the time in the world, because we could just take that thing and like, look at that, examine that. But I think when you look at those speeches too, you can, I mean, these are some of the greatest speeches ever made. Like if you look at these ones and you look at Natla and you look at these, and you look at what they're doing, it just blows me away. It gives me things to shoot for. Because like I feel like I'm pretty good at basketball, but then you know, then someone comes in and says, "Oh, yeah." Anyway, I'll play it.
Wanganese, you've talked about maybe having 3 or 4 columns. And so the Tlingit, and then a more literal translation, or at least showing what the verb roots are, and then the polished English. Because I do think that that sense of interpreting it so that it sounds as wonderful in English as it does in Tlingit is a good thing.
That would be great. It would. And so, like, as we sort of look at, we're so blessed to have these recordings and to have all this stuff. And, you know, like, we can't forget the people who were doing. So it was Nora who was transforming things with these recorders, but it wasn't just Nora. So Nora had one of these recorders, Rosita had one, these Tascam big reel-to-reels. And then Johnny Marks had one, and Forrest DeWitt had one. Those are the 4 that I know of, when like Tlingit people really started to record themselves or ourselves. And so that was a huge shift in terms of what the people were sharing and what people were capturing. Because prior to that, people didn't want to be recorded. And there's old recordings of big speeches, which is why we have them. Go back to 1899, and there's 1904 recordings potentially. And so there's so much to do. But here we are doing the thing. So what are we doing on Thursday?
I had a little talk again. I was giving Gates a ride, and I accidentally said it again. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm trying my best. And she's like, kind of turned to me, and I was like, I'm doing my best. I'm not trying. She's like, okay, all right, you're doing it. You're not trying, you're doing it. And I was like, thank you, Grandma. I almost forgot.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But that always makes
Dachun,
what was it?
dachun, yagayi, ach, topic,
Oh, yeah.
at, chaye, ka, sa'i.
I think you're on the 12th. So you're next
Oh,
Tuesday.
well, whichever. I mean, I have prepared and I could do it. Or I could wait.
But, Kachu, maybe we should look at the chart.
Da, da, da.
Legends, Rocks, and Fossils.
Ah. Okay.
I bumped the dates earlier today, so sorry about the confusion, but it would line up with our schedule now.
Yes, Kaku, do you want to switch and go? Do you want to go on Thursday?
Clegg.
That's fun.
Clegg. Sunday. Zug. Ach, to Sigu.
So, if I'm going to be going Thursday, I'll tell y'all what I was kind of thinking about doing because I found lots of rocks and fossils all around Alaska, all the places that I've been to. So, and then even some from where I haven't. So, I have like Wrangell garnets. I've found sediment with leaves and stuff on just on the beach right where I was standing. Just last weekend, I reached underneath a rock here in Juneau, or underneath a tree stump here in Juneau, and I pulled out a rock that had old sandworms, tube worms, and that was underneath a tree. And that was right next to some shells that I had found, which someone told me was about 9,000 years old. One said they were about 6,000 years old. I've found old, it doesn't have to be fossils, right? Maybe it's just things that we've discovered, but I think there's a lot of truth in some of the things that we find. So, for example, my favorite story is we talk about 10,000 plus years ago, which is around the time the Pleistocene had been around. So we're talking about giant rats and short-faced bears and that kind of thing. And around that time, our saltwater lakes, or all of our lakes were saltwater lakes. Not all of them, a lot of them. So I think it's just really interesting how we can say like, oh yeah, this story is true, this story is true, this story is true, there's truth to this story, but there was definitely nothing ever in that saltwater lake 17,000 years ago. Yeah, and then one of the anthropology teachers here, Dan Monteith, told me that he had seen an image and no one could figure out what it was, and they're like, oh, that's a lake monster. And they're like, well, how do you know? And I was like, well, look at it. It doesn't look like anything else, and it was also at a level that had dropped, which I thought was really interesting. But anyways, so stories. I also think a lot about like when we are when you hear the language everywhere, like Hawaii and in the schools, we're gonna have to be able to talk about different things, and that's why one of the first things I tackled in the school was the colors, and like maybe what would we call this color and what would we call that color, and how do we talk about colors? Because I mean that pertains to like teachers, scientists. In this instance, it would be like geology, right? I mean, talking about all these rocks, they can't just say a blue rock, because if they think we're just talking about a blue rock, I would assume Nachem Te. But what rock exactly was Nachem Te?
Oh.
So this might be like a more descriptive. I don't know if you guys have found anything. That was kind of my goal. I know it's really open-ended, but I thought that was fine because we're all just here to talk about things and maybe connect. So that's kind of what I was thinking about, and I'll probably be repeating a lot of what I just said, just in the language. I found this here. It's next to this. It looks like this color. I might call it this. Around that area, I'm talking about the land. So specifically next week, I'll be talking about the Fritz Cove, straight across from Auk Lake, and maybe even about a smaller cove that used to be called Whiskey Cove. So maybe we could even just talk about the things that have been found in your area, or if you know of any rocks in your area, maybe a story if you guys are willing to share. I know one I've been wanting to learn. I've asked kind of a couple people, but haven't gotten a direct answer. I just mentioned I'm going to Fritz Cove, right across from Auk Lake. I've heard about the Auk Cha, but I don't know anything about that. So that would be like one example of maybe another myth, or another story around what you're working with. Another example could be in that same area to the left. I asked the forest to just show me something cool because I thought we were on a roll. I found like this dogtooth calcite, and I found some pyrite, and I found this blue rock that I'll bring in and show y'all. I just found some fossil, basically calcified shells, and I just asked the forest, like, I won't ask any more of you, just show me one cool thing before I walk out, because I felt like I got kind of skunked when I was looking for this one thing this day. And I looked over, and I don't have good vision, so I saw this little bit of green peeking from underneath the moss. So I was like, I had to know. So,
Where can I find that schedule? I didn't see my name on it there, right? But I thought I was there for the 29th.
Oh.
The 29th of which month? Because that's a Friday in November.
Oh, well, I don't know. I thought it was November 29th. Pick another day for me, okay? And tell me what it is.
Okay.
Well, and
the 28th. Okay, the 28th. There you go. Okay. Okay. Sheesh.
And I'll fix the
28th is Thanksgiving.
Oh, is it? Okay.
American.
That's right.
That doesn't count. How about the 26th?
There you go.
Okay. The 26th. Okay. Okay. I want to talk about ʼatudli.átk.
Okay.
I know that's a really abstract idea of what I was talking about. So what do y'all think about that?
That's enough. I think that's great.
Okay.
It's good.
Y'all got 2 days to find, and my suggestion to make it work, just pick one thing and then try to respond to things. So it'll be fun.
Sheesh.
Okay. Great job. Tachitlikudzi. Gunchish.
Sheesh. Ziagen.
Kat Shiwan. Sheesh.
Okay.